Hello, everyone. This is Rod Walton with Clarion Energy. I'm here in the green room during the keynote for DistribuTECH 2019, and we've heard the keynote speech from our speaker here with our host utility Entergy. It's Chief Operating Officer Paul Hinnenkamp. Paul, is a great talk today. Really love to hear what Entergy is doing, and we just wanted to talk about one of the things you said in there is that Entergy needs to transition from being a supplier to a partner. Yes. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Certainly. You think about the regulated utility industry and you think about those 100 years and how we may have behaved over that time, we provided a product. We provided that electricity, and we too often look too narrowly at the business in that way, and we were a supplier. We weren't looking at it enough as being a partner. And we need to look at the outcomes, all of our customers, be it residential, industrial, commercial. What outcomes do they need in their life, and how can we partner with them to create those outcomes? So beyond just providing reliable electricity, what do they use that for, and how can we help them create the outcomes? How can we provide them products and services that we haven't done in the past?
Okay, very good. And just kind of going through the notes there, you also talked a little bit about the capital projects, and that kind of gives a real window into what the priorities are for Entergy. And if you could tell us a little bit about where the big areas you see as investment.
We have over $11 billion of capital spend planned for the next 3 years. And as an integrated utility, it spans the spectrum. So making investments in emissions-free nuclear, we're making investments in new generation. We have old assets that we are retiring, and we're building new, efficient gas plants. That's helping our environmental footprint, that's driving down the fuel costs for our customers, and is providing for a much more reliable generation. We're also ramping up the spend on the transmission side and on the distribution side more so. So, as I said, we look at it across all of those lenses, and the investments that we're making are all geared towards delivering the outcomes for those customers in a way we haven't before.
Okay. Yeah, and on the generation side a little bit, I had the honor of going out to the tour for the pilot project you guys did with the solar farm, and you guys got more planned with that kind of thing in the future, don't you?
We do. That's a small solar farm, but it's a neat one here in New Orleans. We have 1,000 megawatts of renewables under various phases of either operation or development. And the economics of those continue to come down, and we'll continue to see that increase. The amount that we continue to invest in renewables will continue to increase, not only because of the economics, because of our stakeholders, they're seeking more and more of that type of energy from us.
Okay. And beyond the generation side, you talked a little bit about the transition and distribution, and maybe you can go into a little bit more detail on where you see the priorities for that part of the sector.
Of course, on the distribution side, you start really touching the customer. You need it all, right? You need the generation, the transmission, and the distribution. You really start touching the customer. And as we look around our communities, we have aging infrastructure. And in the past, we have made some investments in nuclear to improve the reliability of our nuclear assets, the nuclear strategic plan. Well, we'll be moving forward with a distribution strategic plan so that we can get after the infrastructure. Not only the infrastructure that exists, but new technology, smart meters. We have 3 million meters, automated meters that we'll be installing. We've already started this year. We'll carry that through 2021. We'll be looking at technology in many aspects and how that can help us be a better partner for our customers, provide products and services thereafter, and as I said, the outcomes that they're after.
And I want to thank you again for Entergy being a host utility for DistribuTECH this year. And if you have any words of wisdom or advice for newcomers to New Orleans, to this great city.
Yes. I made a point to make a statement at the beginning of my keynote. And you can have a lot of fun here in New Orleans. Please be safe. Above all, please be safe and enjoy. You're here during carnival season. Mardi Gras is a few weeks away. We're still pretty disappointed over the outcome of the Super Bowl and the Saints game. We believe the Saints should have been there. You'll see some billboards about that around the city. There were some parties over the weekend. There may still be some parties. But I would say enjoy the food, enjoy the music, enjoy the people, and be safe.
I, for one, agree with you about the Saints. So with that being said, this is Rod Walton with Clarion News with Entergy COO Paul Hinnenkamp at the DistribuTECH keynote.